hall. And after we were through with that, had a late lunch at a malt shop. And we told the kids that just down the street, there was a candy store that we had never been to before. And that after lunch, we could all go down there, pick out a treat to bring home for later. So, of course, there was a lot of excitement about that. We finished our lunch. We walked down the street, crossed the intersection, walked up to the store, and there was the sign, "Sorry, we're closed." I think they were supposed to be open. I'm pretty sure something must have gone wrong, and they were closed. And then I saw the perfect picture of disappointment. The younger one went right up to the door, and you could see through the glass door all these wonders inside. And she just put her head on the door in complete sadness. You think about, we use the phrase, like a kid in a candy store, for when we're so excited and happy about something. Well, this was the exact opposite of that. A kid at the door of a closed candy store that can't get in. It's kind of torture, right? Because the whole front is glass and the door is glass, and you can see all the sweets and the chocolates and the candy corn and the popcorn, everything in there. But it's closed, and you're on the wrong side of the glass. In our gospel, we have the story of the man who is deaf and has a speech impediment, and because of that communication barrier he has, he's largely closed off to his fellows. And I think it's interesting, the gospel specifies that he didn't go to Jesus himself. It says that people, his friends, brought him to Jesus. It's maybe like that candy store where his friends could see inside of him to some degree. They knew and could see his gifts, his beauty, but to a large degree, he was closed off from them by that communication barrier. Jesus' solution is to heal him with the word ephphatha, simply be open. So stores can be closed by circumstances of their hours, illness of an employee, equipment malfunction, whatever. People can be closed off from others by medical conditions, by language or other communication barriers. Sometimes we close ourselves off from others in different ways, either consciously or unconsciously. We can be closed off due to broken relationships, hurts we have felt or that we have inflicted on others that linger. We can be closed off because of differences in opinion we have from others, differences in politics. We can be closed because of choices that we have made or choices that they have made that have put a barrier between us. We can be closed off from each other, as James said in our second reading, because we tend to show partiality that he exhorts us not to. We might be partial to those of similar economic status to us, partial to people who are just more like us than others are. And we can be closed off from God. Sometimes that's because we can feel that God is too distant, maybe even uncaring. We can close ourselves off from God when we find his word to be too challenging or just too confusing. We can close ourselves off when we find church to be unwelcoming. But here's the thing. Every one of you is a candy store. You were all made in the image of God, intended and with the capacity to be filled with goodness and sweetness and light. But when others, or when God approaches us, are they met with that sign with fluorescent orange letters on the black background that says, "Sorry, I'm closed"? If so, we need to bring ourselves to Jesus and ask that He open our hearts and our souls to Him and to others. Because at times, for all those reasons and others that I listed, it can be very hard for us to be or to want to be open to others. And when it is hard for us, that is the most important time for us to ask Jesus to speak the word, to enable us to be open.